Okay, this is lesson 5.2 and 5.3. These lessons are combined because they are focusing on adding and subtracting of fractions. Whether those fractions are like fractions, have different denominators, or they are mixed fractions. Please make sure you're taking notes and that you're tiling your notes as you go. You want to make sure that you're including definitions, key terms, and examples and procedural steps. As well as you're watching for the video, you're looking for the learning target, which is why are you watching this? What are you supposed to be learning? And then also the I can statements that after you've watched the videos and completed in-class assignments, what will you be able to do because of this? Okay, let's go ahead and get started and watch a little video they have for us.
A lot about fractions. You've learned how to simplify them. You've learned how to estimate with fractions. You've even learned how to convert mixed fractions and improper fractions. Today, we're going to learn how to add and subtract fractions using models. Here you have a circle that's divided into 8 equal parts. The circle represents one whole, and each of these parts represents 1/8. So let's look at our first problem. We have 3/8 plus 4/8. So here are our 3/8. We're going to add 4/8 to it. And when we do, we see that this is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7/8. Now let's look at our next problem. We have 1/8 plus 5/8. Again, let's see what our answer is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is equal to 6/8. We know that we can simplify this to 3/4. Now let's try some subtraction problems. Here we have 6/8. Let's get our 6/8 here. And this time we want to take away or subtract 1/8. When we do, we see very easily that we are left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5/8. And finally, if we begin with 7/8 and we want to subtract 3/8, 1, 2, 3, we're left this time with 4/8. And we know again that we need to simplify, and this is equal to 1/2. Keep working with those models and practice adding and subtracting fractions.
Okay, that video was on adding fractions with like denominators. What happens if you don't have like denominators? Well, you need to get like denominators. So let's say we have 5/16 plus 3/8. Our first step is going to do what we need to do to get like denominators. So I'm going to take this 3/8 and I'm going to multiply it by 2/2 so that it becomes 6/16. Now I have like denominators, so I'm simply going to add. So 5 plus 6/16. So I have 5 plus 6/16. That becomes 11/16. My final answer cannot be simplified. It is in simple form already. If your fractions are mixed numbers, you can convert to improper fractions. So if I had 2 and 3/6 or something, I can convert if that was to make my life easier. You will see steps in the right-hand corner. Make sure that you write those down. I'm sure that you already know them, but it's one of those safe things to always have with you so that you can refer back to. If you need to pause at any time, please remember you're welcome to do so. Okay, here's one that we're talking with some variables. You know it's algebra. We're going to add a little bit to it. And so this time we have some variables, and we need to simplify these variable expressions. I have 3a over 20 plus a over 10. And I need to combine these. If I go back to my steps, it says I need to have like denominators. So I want to get them both to 20. So I don't have anything to do with the first set or the first fraction, but that second fraction, a over 10. I again need to multiply 2/2 to that so I can get 2a over 20. Now hopefully by this point you realize that sometimes I may have to multiply 3 or 4 depending on what I need to do to get my denominators to be like. This just happens that this example and the last both happen to be multiplied by 2 over 2. When I do so, it becomes 2a over 20, and I'm going to add or combine that with 3a over 20, which will come out to 5a over 20, but I'm not done. I see that I can simplify. I can divide both the numerator and the denominator by a 5, which will leave me with 1a over 4, or many of us will just simply write a over 4. We do have one more video. It is a pretty simplistic video to watch. I understand that it might be a little low for some, but it's a good refresher, so please bear with us. Okay, let's watch the video. Okay, maybe we're going to watch that video. Let's see, I need to pause. Okay, we're going to try and check this again, see if we can get it to play.
We want to add some mixed numbers. We have the mixed numbers 1 and 2/5, 1/4, and 1 and 1/20. In order to add these, we must first find the lowest common denominator. We know by looking at these denominators, 5, 4, and 20, that the lowest common denominator is 20. So we're going to rewrite our fractions. 1 and 8/20, 5/20, and 1 and 1/20. So when we add these fractions that have a common denominator now, we get 2 and 14/20. We know that we need to simplify this fraction. It is 2 and 7/10. So be careful when you are adding fractions and make sure that you get the lowest common denominator.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. This is the last of this section. There will be more videos, so watch for those to be posted. Thank you, and come to class with your questions, your learning targets, and your I-CANs.